Hello there, Father Andrew here. This video is my end of year assessment for 2025, where I go over my goals from this year and see if I achieved them or not. Getting straight into that, what were my goals this year? The first goal I had was uploading a minimum of 12 decent analysis videos. The second goal was to work on my novel series and see how much progress I get. And the third was to continue uploading Garry's Mod content for my fans on Steam. Alright, with those three goals elaborated on, now to talk about what happened. Firstly, regarding Gmod content, because this is the quickest one, around 100 separate workshop uploads this year. Those consisting of dupes, saves, and some lost add-ons me and my friend Wizard managed to salvage and re-upload. In terms of artwork also posted on Steam under Garry's Mod, and a few other games, 32 artworks. I would count that as 34, but 2 of them are just alternate versions of previous artwork. If we put the artwork and the workshop uploads together, that comes to about 132 to 134. In regards to videos, in total, 43 videos, 44 if we include this one. 21 of which were analysis videos, the rest all of various quality and topic. Safe to say my goals were met with these two, if not greatly surpassed. You got basically near enough 4 times the number of videos I initially promised. Anyway, regarding the novel aspect, however, great progress was made on Act 2, albeit it's far from done. So far this year, we have 2,196 words for Chapter 1, which is incredibly short because it really just compiles a bunch of stuff together. Chapter 2, which is 27,684 words, which is insanely long due to the sheer amount of world building, and the amount of other stuff that gets elaborated on, such as character depth and such. And Chapter 3, so far, which is unfinished, 7,911 words, albeit it's still a work in progress that I'll be resuming in the new year. Together, that's 37,791 words written this year. So, while it's not finished, it's still an insane amount of work that's been accomplished. And while that's not as impressive as the 115,581 I did over 14 months last year, while writing Act 1 of my novel, it's still a big number regardless. And yes, 115,000 down to a mere 37,000 this year, which is a gap of 78,000, is quite the difference. Which probably makes you wonder, why is there such a large discrepancy this year? Firstly, the contents of Act 2 are very different from Act 1. They focus more on the individual main characters instead of the group as a whole. This gives the characters significantly more depth so the audience can form a better connection with them. There's also more of a focus on greatly expanding the world building with extensive detail to create a much larger image of how the setting works, all while following the major overall plot. Secondly, adding in this much detail while trying to keep things consistent is incredibly tedious. So much I have an actual physical binder now which contains information for keeping everything plot related in order. It contains character sheets, world building information, floor layouts, information on fauna and flora, plot graphs, etc. And it's not even fully complete yet, there's still more that needs to go into it. I still need to map out the floor plans and blueprints for various locations from both Act 1 and 2 among a crapload of other details. And thirdly, another reason for the giant discrepancy is the general burnout and tiredness from the whole process. Honestly, I'm just going to TLDR this section because I've explained it before in other videos, and frankly, I'm not here to bitch, whine, and complain. No, I'm here to summarize the year's progress. TLDR, constantly and endlessly forcefully pushing myself to do better because nothing felt like enough, driven by comparing myself to others and imaginary arbitrary standards, led to me completely burning out over and over for the last year. So, going into 2026, I'll be taking mandatory breaks during whatever I'm doing as to not burn out again. And frankly, you know what? Fuck whatever some armchair writing expert redditor says. Actually, the apostrophe should only come after— Bro, shut the fuck up, no one cares. I'm gonna use the apostrophe however I want and you are going to like it. But my media literacy, wah, shut up! In all seriousness though, media literacy is very important, and I hate how Reddit tier analysis has effectively bastardized it into a pseudo-intellectual calling card, but that's a topic for a different video. Likely next year, given my extremely limited time frame right now, like Christmas is literally lurking around the corner. It is like 4 days away. Like, I've got the right door shut, I'm on 1% power, Mr. Christmas is banging on the door, I'm looking at the right camera, he is right out, and the power's going out and the door is open. Ho ho ho! Christmas jump scare! Ah! But overall, now to summarize the results of this year. I'd say this year's been pretty successful in spite of burnout and IRL issues getting in the way. My video goals complete, surpassed by nearly 4 times. The Garry's Mod content goal is pretty much satisfied. I've uploaded like 11 things to the workshop in a single day very recently as I make this video. And my writing goal, it could have been a lot better, but 37k words is nothing to scoff at. That's still a big number. And frankly, I've also learned a lot during this year, which is going to be something that changes my approach going forward. Well, that's assuming my channel still exists soon, given the fact that auto moderation on the site is literally just straight up vaporizing entire channels off the platform for no reason, which is why I have BitChute as a backup. Like, I don't want to detract from the main point of the video here too much, but seriously, the YouTube algorithm, there's a very high chance a lot of small channels are just going to get randomly obliterated for absolutely no valid reason. But despite the grim darkness of the AI bullshit aside, anyway, going forward, how will I change my strategy next year? Alright, firstly, no more pre-recording videos. Instead, I'm going to make them as I'm writing and use them as a break to break up the writing process. Also, in consideration of the kind of content I actually want to make and the amount of quality I want, I'm going to be honest, weekly uploads are just not going to work anymore. And while yes, that is incredibly disappointing, I'd rather take my time and upload things of actual substance for you to watch that's actually worth watching. The last thing I want is for this channel to become a slop pipeline, churning out Reddit flavored gunk for the masses. All just to appease an algorithm that doesn't even know what it wants anymore. Secondly, the aforementioned mandatory breaks as mentioned to avoid the burnout. Thirdly, I'll actually want to expand what I do on here, not just make analysis content, because frankly, the last thing I want is to create a culture of armchair experts who think they're the be-all end-all of writing just because they watch someone make analysis videos on whatever he feels like covering. I want to write my own stories like I did with Land of the No Man and make them into videos, produce my own music, which I've been experimenting with, and generally just expand my skill set to enable larger, better projects. And fourthly, I want to have more moments where I can actually be direct and talk with you about how I feel on things, and post updates on things I find interesting or what I'm personally doing, so you get to know me better for who I am, and remember that there is an actual living person making these videos. A person with hopes, fears, ideas, and an actual life. And with that, we can summarize these 4 points. In summary, 1. No more pre-recording content, it comes when it does. 2. Mandatory breaks. 3. Expanding what I do on here to not create a stagnant community and to expand my skills. 4. Actually talking about myself so you get to know me for who I am. And with that, those are my plans for next year and a summary of my results this year. Now, since it's Christmas time, it's time for me to crack open a beer, shovel turkey down my gob, and pass out. And maybe, just maybe, boot up TF2. Play some Sniper with the Huntsman, and absolutely Grinch on that lobby. We do a smidge of trolling, America. We just do a smidge, just a little. But anyway, I'll see you bloody legends next year. I love every single one of you. Merry Christmas, good night, love you all.